Hi. You know, caravanning when I was young is a completely different experience to how it is now. You know, back in the day when it was a wet play day, we had nothing to do apart from perhaps build a house of cards, play a board game, or watch the rain dribble down the outside of the caravan. Nowadays, of course, caravans are a completely different environment. Children today have got their phones, got their tablets, got little game consoles, and a TV with 102 channels of nothing on. So what to do when you've got a TV with 102 channels of nothing on? There's no Wi-Fi access, it's Sunday, everywhere is closed, and you can't all agree on what you want to do or what you want to watch. Well, maybe this little device will help. So let me introduce you to the HooToo TripMate Titan. It's a USB media device, it's a charging device, and it's also a Wi-Fi access. So let's go through some of the features. So if we look at the device itself, you can see that we've got a couple of USB sockets. One of them is used to connect your devices. The little one is for charging only. If we come around to this side, you'll notice it's got an Ethernet connection. And this is used for wired connections. And we'll come on to this in a bit later on. So looking at the top of the device, we've got a set of LEDs here which tells us how much charge is in the battery. If I press it momentarily, you can see we're fully charged. On the other side here, we've got a Wi-Fi connection light. If I press and hold the power on button, you'll notice that we go through a startup procedure, and instantly available is a Wi-Fi hotspot. Once you're connected to the Wi-Fi, you can then bridge to a pre-existing connection. But why would you want to do this? Well, here's the thing. If you have to pay by device on a campsite or in a hotel, you can use this one device and then bridge the connection to all your tablets and phones in your caravan. It could be a very cost-effective way of getting everybody onto the internet at the same time. But also, because it's a Wi-Fi connection, you can connect to the USB devices plugged into the TripMate. Now, using a USB device like this, you can preload your movies, your documents, your pictures, or anything that you need to access whilst you're away, and plug this into the TripMate, and they'll become instantly available via a very handy little application. Now, once you've installed your USB device, you can download the free application, which is called TripMate Plus. You don't need the application. You can actually use your web browser, like Safari, for instance. But for the purposes of this demo, I will show you the application. So running TripMate Plus, you can see that you've created a rather beautiful interface. And on here, you can then browse and view your films that you've copied onto USB. Now, I've just downloaded and purchased some movies here from iTunes. However you get your movies, that's perfectly fine. And literally, you press the movie, and it will stream it straight to your device. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that you can stream up to 5 devices of very different films. So whilst Tom is watching SpongeBob SquarePants, Chloe can be watching something slightly more age appropriate like SpongeBob SquarePants 2. The great thing as well is that whilst the children are watching individual movies, I can be listening to some music, for which I have none, and Angela can be looking at some documents, which we have none. If you've got folders and subdirectories in other parts of your USB device, you can literally browse the whole thing by going into the Explorer. And as you can see here, I do actually have some music in here that I can listen to if I so wish. Perhaps the nicest thing about this USB device though is the ability to plug in a USB hub and be able to copy files from one device to another whilst you're out and about. Now, what does that really mean? Well, it means I can back up my photographs straight off my camera onto a USB hard disk, which means that when I'm out and about on holiday, I can make space on my camera and keep them safe. So that's a really good benefit for me. Now finally, the only thing worth noting about this device is the battery pack itself. It's quite a heavy lump, as you can see, and that's because it's got a lithium-ion battery inside of 10,400 milliamperes. That means you can charge up a smartphone 3 times, you can extend the life of a tablet like an iPad or a HooToo quite a lot. You can also charge up Kindles In fact, anything that has a USB connection and is chargeable by USB, you can charge with this device here. So again, the device, you've got one USB socket here. The second one is only used to charge the battery up in this device here. So simply just connect your lead, plug it into your phone, and there we go, it's charging the phone up. Now, I've used this, and indeed I've charged my smartphone. I've got an iPhone 6. I've charged it up 2 times, and I charged up my wife's Kindle from 0 to 100%, and it was still working out okay. Now, to see how charged the battery is, just press once, and you can see that we've got 4 bars here. And it does work really, really well. Okay, so conclusions on the HooToo TripMate Titan. It's okay. It's a lot of things in a little box, but there are a couple of shortcomings on it, and I'm sure these will be addressed in later releases. First of all, the device only works with Apple or Android devices. My daughter's got a Windows phone and there's no application for that. And yes, you can browse through the web browser, but the Internet Explorer on the Windows phone didn't actually work properly with this device. So she wasn't able to stream any of her movies. Secondly, her first generation iPad that she has, which is essentially a hand-me-down, that didn't work either. To run the application you need iOS 6, and again, running an older version of Safari, it just didn't work and it was unable to stream any of the movies. That said, if you've got something that's up to date, it works fine. So that's something to bear in mind. So earlier on, you know, I showed you that this thing has a network capability. Well, that's really only used in a hotel room where you would have a wired only connection. It's not going to make much difference here in the caravan, to be honest with you. So what we use is just the wireless bridging capabilities. Now, the wireless bridging capabilities does have a couple of flaws. If you go to a site where you log in via the web portal, let's say for example a caravan club site, where you would log in, you'd pay your subscription, or via a handy little web page, you would find that this is going to be pretty useless. What happens is you can access the Wi-Fi given by the caravan club via this, no problems at all, but you actually authenticate via this, which means this is useless. So what I would suggest is don't bother, just use this as per normal, but use this if you're accessing USB media devices. So would I recommend this? Yeah, I think I would. It's pretty expensive, it's 50 quid. There are cheaper ones out there, but it's very handy. Certainly when you've got 2 kids who need entertaining on a cold, wet day, and it's priceless for that alone. The other thing as well, it's handy having that power bank, so that if you're out and about and you need to quick charge your phone or quick charge your tablet whilst you're out and around, you have that capability. The only thing is to make sure you take the lead with you. So I hope this review's been of use to you. Any comments, any suggestions, or anything you'd like to ask, please feel free to add them in the comments below. And I hope this has been of use to you. So until the next video, we'll catch you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye. You are seriously watching the SpongeBob movie, Tom?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Everything.
Tom, you're 17 years of age.